What's up, my people? Thank you very, very much for clicking on this video, engaging with my content. Super duper appreciate it. Today's show, we're going to be talking about various line movements. Is it sharp? Is it square? Who's betting these lines? And we're going to be talking about the biggest line movements. Just keep it in mind, guys, that a lot of these line movements are very much subject to change. I'm recording this currently on Tuesday, so there's still a couple more days for these lines to marinate. And also, if you do like this content, please make sure to like, comment, and sub. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first big steam move is on the main event. We've got Black Beast, aka Derek Lewis. He opened around Pick'em, and the money's just steadily been pouring in. We had a little bit of buyback on Nascimento. However, all I see online is mainly guys picking Black Beast, aka Derek Lewis. And I think the line movement's justified, and I think the money's going to keep coming in on Derek Lewis. I think this is probably quite a favorable matchup for him. He's probably going to end up getting a knockout. A little bit of buyback on Nascimento, but I'm not too sure who was betting the Nascimento side because everyone's mainly choosing Black Beast to get a vicious knockout. So yeah, next line movement. So Alonzo Menafield opened as a plus 275 underdog, and he got seamed a little bit, and then we got a little bit of buyback on Aldrich. I think people are thinking, yeah, the line's a little bit wide. Aldrich's ground game's a little bit unproven, but I think the vast majority of people are actually picking and betting on Aldrich. Personally, I lean towards that side. I do believe that Aldrich is most likely going to win this fight, end up getting a knockout in the feet. So yeah, be careful with that one, guys. Now, this one here, we got Ricci opened as a 2.45 underdog or plus 145, and the money just steadily been pouring in. I think the line movement's not going to change too much from this point on. I believe this is more of like a system play for most guys. People see Ricci's been more active. Tecia Pennington, aka Tecia Torres, she's coming off a 2-year layoff. She's coming off a pregnancy. So to a lot of people, that's just an automatic system play on Ricci. And I see why the line movement's been coming on her, especially at the opener. How I see this line movement going, I see a lot of back and forth action on this fight. And I don't think the line movement's going to change too much. I think it's a pretty tricky fight to predict, mainly because of the unknowns. But if we get Tecia Torres from 2 years ago, it could be quite a favourable matchup for her. Justified parlay piece here. So money's just been steadily pouring in on Rebecca. I think Rebecca's going to be a very, very popular parlay piece. I think a lot of people are going to be putting them into parlays, putting them into doubles. And I think the money's just going to keep pouring in. He's around 1.25 at the moment. Maybe he goes down to 1.20, but I don't see many people picking Carlos Diego Ferreira. And I don't think there's going to be a big drastic movement on that side. Maybe we get a tiny bit of buyback, but I think most of the money is going to be on Rebecca, and most of the cappers and other tipsters and touts, they're all on the Rebecca side. So yeah, I think that's a justified steam move. Maybe the line's a little bit wide, but I do believe he's going to win the fight. Next little line movement we've been getting here. Waldo Cortez Acosta opened as a 3.05 underdog, all plus 205. And the money came in on him. I can see why, because you're kind of betting against the unknowns. Of course, Robles looks very, very dangerous, and he can 100% get a knockout within the first couple of minutes. I picked Waldo Cortez Acosta, very, very low confidence, just because there's a lot of unknowns with the Robles side. We don't really know how he's going to perform outside of 3 minutes, and that really upset a lot of people. I think this fight here, I think most of the money is going to be on Robles. I see most guys picking Robles, and a lot of people are very, very high on his skill set, and they believe he's going to be in the next up in the heavyweight division. So I think the money is going to keep coming in on Robles. So if you do want to target the Waldo Cortez Acosta side, personally, I would be leaving this fight alone. If you do want to get on that side, you might just want to wait a bit more, see if more money comes in on Robles. If not, save it for live betting. So we got a justified line flip, or was this a mistake? So Trey Waters opened as a plus 130 underdog, and straight away money came in on him. And yeah, I think probably a justified move. I think it's a pretty tricky fight to predict, in my opinion, guys. I am going to pick Trey Waters to win the fight because I do believe he's going to have the jab. He's going to be able to keep Billy Goff off him at range and kind of just outpoint him, outstrike him. It's going to be a low confidence pick on my side, but I do see quite a bit of love for the Billy Goff side. So I think the line might come in a little bit more on Billy Goff. You might get a little bit of a better price on Trey Waters. So if you are targeting the trade water side, you might want to hold off, maybe get a little bit in now, and maybe do like a dollar cost average approach if you do lean towards that side. But I think the initial steam move was justified because I would have trade waters as a slight favorite in this matchup. Justified favorite, so Woodson opened as a pick'em, 1.91 minus 110, and the money just pours straight in. I think this is a justified steam move. I do believe that Sean Woodson should be the favorite in this matchup. Of course, Caceres is no joke, and this fight has potential to play out quite competitive, but I don't think the line will move too much more in this matchup. Maybe a little bit more money comes in on Woodson, but I can't see him going past 1.40 or minus 250. At some point, if the line goes too crazy, I think we will see some Alex Caceres buyback. But I do believe that Woodson should be the favorite in this matchup, and I think the initial steam move was justified. So next fight here, we got Terrence McKinney versus Rebovix. So McKinney initially opened as a 3.10 underdog, all plus 210. And I think the initial line movement was very, very much justified. I think that's too wide of a line, considering that I do believe that McKinney can have a lot of success in round one. Unfortunately, he's the type of guy that is a round one or bust type of fighter. And how I see this line movement going, I see some cappers picking McKinney. I think there's going to be some popular underdog bets on McKinney. I think the line's going to keep moving. I think the line might close up a little bit, but I think Rebovix will still remain the favorite as he does have the cardio upside. Personally, I'll probably be leaving this one alone because I don't really like the idea of betting on a fighter who needs to win by round one. Maybe you can look at McKinney round one sub, or McKinney round one KO, or McKinney round one. It's a small little prop bet. So I do believe Rebovix will close as the slight favorite, maybe like 1.65, 1.7, or stay around this initial odds. But I can't see any more drastic line movement to the point where McKinney becomes a massive favorite or a slight favorite. And if that does happen, I do believe that money will come in on Rebovix and it'll be justified. So Jared Gooden, he opened up as a 3.60 underdog, and the money just pours straight in. And I think that's justified. I think this fight has potential to be quite close. I think Jousset should be the favorite, but he is quite unproven. And this fight has potential to be quite competitive. I think from a line movement perspective, at the current prices we're seeing at the moment, I think the money will just slowly come in on Jousset. And I think Jousset will close as the bit more of a favorite, maybe like 1.40, something along those lines. I'm not really seeing much people pick Gooden, so I don't see how much more money we'll get on the Gooden side. Now, a lot of cappers, a lot of tipsters are picking the Jousset side, so yeah. So next fight here, Hadley opens a pick'em, and the money's just been steadily pouring in, and he's now the slight favorite. I think that's a justified steam move, in my opinion. I do believe that Jake Hadley should be the slight favorite in this matchup, but I think this fight has potential to be quite competitive, and I think there'll be guys who like the Charles Johnson side, so we might get a little bit of a buyback on Charles Johnson. I do believe this fight has potential to be quite competitive, so I think Hadley will close as a slight favorite, similar sort of price range that we're seeing at the moment. Now, this is an interesting little line movement. So Veronica Hardy opened as a 2.65 underdog, aka that's plus 165 in American odds, and she flipped straight into a decent side favorite, well, slight favorite, 1.72. And I think that's a very, very justified steam move, in my opinion, because I do believe she should be the favorite in this matchup. I think she's going to be faster, a bit more beat JJ Aldrich to the punch, but we could be overrating Veronica Hardy here because she's beat two lower level girls. And I do see a lot of love for the JJ Aldrich side, so we might get a little bit more buyback, but I do believe Veronica Hardy is going to close around this type of price range, and I don't see the line movement changing too much. So yeah, I think Veronica Hardy as a slight favorite is an accurate line. So thank you so much for clicking on this video, engaging my content. Super duper appreciate it. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like, feeling the content, maybe subscribe. If you're feeling extra generous, leave me a comment as well. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the video.